Hello and welcome to This Is How I Build. My name is Peter Wolf and I want to show you 3 different techniques that you can use to enhance the visual look of your already working AI built apps that you can utilize to give a new feeling, a new UX, a new UI to your surface without losing any of the mechanics or any of the main features that you have polished. I always say to polish the functions first, so you need to make sure the backend working as it needs to. All the buttons do what they should do before you touch the front end, because that could be really time consuming if you do a nice front end and then you don't have finished processes done and you just only after going to trying to fit the new functionalities into the front end, and that can cause some issues. Let's go. The first that I often use, which is probably not going to work as well for this app because this is has too many moving parts, but I want to cover both of them, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply all of the design methods to this exact app that you can see. We will wait while the AI is going to build the new look, and then I revert to the previous version, and then we're going to try the other 2 functionalities. So let's go with the image to design. So what you need is you need a source. I usually use Dribbble, which is a very easy place to find designs. This is a website for designers to share their work with the public, so they are hoping that they will get hires through these public shares. If you register an account, so you don't pay anything and you can browse as much as you want. So because this is a dashboard app, I am going to look at dashboard designs, which I have done many times. All I write in Dribbble is dashboard, and what I do instead of going and spending a lot of time on designs, I just scroll through, and if I see something that is visually appealing, I might right click and open a new tab. The only thing I want to avoid when I'm doing image-led designs, this is good, is the reasons why or what these designs are built for. Let me show you this. So it's going to be a good example. So as you can see, this is full of charts. It has a project timeline. It has product with numbers, and then all the analytic data. Maybe sometimes you see prices, and if you just upload something like this and tell your AI bot to change the UI to this one, it often assumes that you want to go towards a more analytical tool, which is not what you are building, and it ignores all of the previous prompts about what this app is, especially if you are building on an online builder like Google AI Studio. So I would avoid everything that is fundamentally, even if it looks good, fundamentally different from what I am trying to build. So I close this down. Let's go with this one. So you found something and you don't even have to download anything. All you do is you hit copy image. You can go Control C, Command C if you're on a Mac, or right click copy. And then I come to my chatbot. I paste that image that I have just copied, and I say something like, I really like the design of this app. The reason I say that I like it, because the AI will understand this is an emotional kind of connection between the design I want and not a logical one, so it hopefully doesn't make too much changes to the content of what's displayed or not. But we can enhance this prompt by exactly stating that we don't want to change on content or buttons. Can you try to transition our current app to look similar? This is the prompt, the goal, and then I can always say, please make sure that we, and then I go in dashed lines and explain everything in one list instead of going with long sentences. So please make sure that we keep all of our functions and display, and then we can also say so please make sure that we keep everything. Don't lose any of our buttons. We don't need how do we call that, the sidebar on the left, just to make sure it doesn't completely reorganizes things on the layout, because I'm happy how this lays out. That we use example colors as guideline, and then keep an eye out for proper contrast levels. So I usually say contrast because sometimes it makes washy websites, and it's really difficult to make it understand what we don't like about an already done. So, and that's it basically. Now we have given an image that we liked. Now we're giving some alignments, some goals. You don't have to use these exact things. You have to think about ways of how you can describe what you want or what you don't want. And then I just hit run, and we see what happens. So hopefully what we will see is the layout will stay pretty much similar, but the look might change. And hopefully, so again, this is what we are looking for. I should have stated that we don't need images, but I guess it will give us some images. We do have some numbers and charts. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that, but this is just an example. Actually, we can go hunt for more. A good until it's doing its work. A good rule of thumb here is, instead of spending a lot of time thinking about every single options that might come into your face, what I use instead is I just scroll and scanning the entire page at once. And if my eyes get caught on something that is interesting to my vision, and if it's interesting to my vision, then comes the logical decision of whether or not this is going to be good. But I don't want to stay on a grid and wait for a long time to decide, is this better than the previous one, etc. I go and just open everything that my eye is going to be, caught on. And once that's done, let's say I have reached the end of this page, I can always press load more, etc. And then I just go through the tabs so I stay in focus. It is doing work on every single element one by one. And all it has is these points, my starting prompt, and that image that I have found over here. This is the least rewarding experience. Sometimes it does great work, sometimes it doesn't. It goes totally off script, and you need to do a lot of repairs. But if it's a lightweight app, something that you just want to publish, you can just go with a couple of trials and see what sticks. The only downside of this imagery use really is that it often creates a lot of problems that you need to hand repair one by one, prompting it out of, no, I don't want to see images in this app because this is a logical app. What it does, it guesses what might be important for you on that image, and if there is a couple of things that might shift the focus of the app or the builder, then it might run into problems once or twice. Okay, the new version is coming. Let's see what we've got after that image. It tells us C. Already way better, isn't it? To be fair, I would just keep it. Nothing changed. Everything is in the same place. Users might like it or might not. I definitely do love it. So let's see the before and after again. So I just see the previous one. Restore. This is what we started with, and then again, this is where we ended up. Magic. So this was one of the methods. Everything stayed the same. All the functionalities are there. Nothing got lost. I don't want to save it because I still want to do more. By the way, I just said I don't like bright designs. At this point, you can also say, okay, go a bit darker. This is too bright. I don't like it. Or maybe create a dark version of it and see which one you like more. But I want to revert and show you the other two techniques, which are even better than this one. Okay, so here we are back in the starting point. What I want to do now is just to clear out the history of the chat so it doesn't reapply what I have said earlier. So the next thing that you can do, instead of explaining what you want it to do, you go the other way and you tell it what you don't like. I don't like this design because, and then you just go with the list as you usually do. You list all of the things that you don't like because it is too generic, too crowded, actually too crowded, too small text, not too modern. This is the most, you're not sure what you're gonna get, but it's always worth a try if you don't want to go and pick something that you exactly like. What can I say? Logo is too... Oh, actually, I don't want to go down the logo route because that's a bigger task to do because it sometimes creates an SVG and you know, that's just too much work for one prompt. And then too outdated, let's say. One letter here. Okay, can you enhance it to be more modern? So yeah, this is something that you can also do is instead of going too direct, you can just tell it what you don't like and then it will do it. Let's wait and see. I'll be back after it's done. It's still doing it, but I wanted to say a very important thing at this point. The very worst thing that you can do with the AI designs, the something that you want to avoid, is to be too specific of exactly how you want it to look, because that is the most difficult thing to nail for an AI, to understand what you mean about what you want, because sometimes a lot of information are missing and it's just spawning informations. This is what they call hallucinating of what you might like. And if you are not able to spend the time of giving exact instructions, especially if you don't have the knowledge of how internet building communication works, then that can break things and can cause you a lot of extra time of polishing of what the AI hasn't produced properly. What it does now is it's doing the same thing like before. It goes across all of the image files or all of the visual files that we use, and it tries to match my requests. Although I didn't give it too much instructions of how to do it, I just tell it what I don't like about it. So I want to see what it comes up with. This is the least probable. So you have no idea what it might do, but it tends to be, the new models tends to be better and better of figuring it out. So we'll just give it a swing and see what we can do, or what it can do. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Ooh, this is a totally different experience, isn't it? Now, okay, so what it did, because I said it's too crowded, it split it up into different menus. Everything is still displayed. Characters list will come here. Console, which probably doesn't need to be. And then I can start here. Okay, so this is another way. It highlighted I don't have enough information. And my settings are down here. It didn't change the settings, so I can still prompt and ask to please do those changes. But again, it is, I think it's already better. It's not perfect. I would definitely do something to tweak it, but I still prefer the image version better than this one. Okay, let's see the third one, which is the most accurate and the best in my case for when you are very specific of how you want things to change. So let me rewrite to the previous version again. So we are back to basics. I am flushing the memory of the chat, and now I want to do something ridiculously different. So I open AI Studio in a new tab, so my builder stays here, and because this is the simplest for me, I just go and find oh, here we go, this is it. Okay, so here's this app made by someone else. What it does, it doesn't matter where you go, but what I want to basically do is just to find a design example that I like. It is relatively close to what I'm trying to build, and it looks neat. So what I'm doing now, you don't have to do this step, but I'm generating one with another tool. Okay, so the third way that you can use is if you can grab a design by the code. So here I am having the source code of this design, which I have generated with another tool. You don't have to generate, you can just basically go on any site like Dribbble. What you can do basically is you can go on any site, you can just press right click inspect, then you can just hover here and see, okay, this is the top section right below the head, and you just hit copy element, and this will copy the entire website structure, the front end, with no content inside, that you can use to manipulate. But for now, I just I really like this tool, so I have created this look, this visual, and what I do is I go source, I copy this one, copy this entire script like so, and then I come back to my builder, I paste the script, and I say I really like this design. Can we make our app look similar to this one without losing any of the functionality and buttons we already use? This is what? It should be buttons, and then I just paste the entire code snippet from the landing page or the design page. It have sent it as multiple messages, but if you are using the right tool, like Google AI, Gemini has plenty context window, and it always reads the entire conversation anyway if you are asking a new prompt or putting a new prompt in after the 10th or the 12th trial. So in this case, this will help you help it to understand not just what you want to see, but how you want to build it as well, because this code also contains the structure of how far elements are from each other, what colors you use, what background you use, etc. So it will have a better understanding of the entire design. So again, this is what we liked. Even animations going to come across this way, because animations are part of the code that you have copied. It is a front-end code, right? By the way, this tool is really handy. So if you are trying to design something, I would always recommend coming here. So you can find this tool at if you come into Google AI Studio and you come into the build section, it's basically right at the beginning. It's called Flash UI. What I can do is I can copy, paste this. Yeah, I will link it in the video below, so you can find it. All you need is a Google domain, an account, to start using it. The reason I like to state I also want to keep buttons and not just functionality is because sometimes Gemini sacrifices UX over UI, which means that it might hide buttons because it thinks that you don't need it, because the other website that you have brought over as an example doesn't use similar things. It might redesign it, but it hopefully won't change much. So especially if you say you want to keep buttons. That's why it's just a habit of mine. Okay, let's see. Here's moment of truth. The third option has generated us this. Wow, actually I am really liking this. What was that? I might keep this, to be frank. So here are the buttons. Oh yeah, everything is here. System log is on the right. Settings, it changed it. Color stayed, but the noisy background. Oh yeah, of course, because it's not in the background. It's in the it's on the foreground. This texture. Anyway, so this is the third way how you can do it. Let me know which one you prefer, which one you would try next, and what AI apps do you use to build your apps. Let me know in the comments below, and I can't wait to upload the next one. See you next time. Bye.